I've talked recently about the Americans with Disabilities Acts and how your DID or OSTD is protected under this law. This law offers two important legal protections. The first is your right to choose whether or not you share the knowledge of your disability with an employer or potential employer. The second important legal protection is your right to accommodations. A job accommodation is, quote, any change in the work environment or in the way things are customarily done that enables an individual with a disability to enjoy equal employment opportunities, unquote. Employers are required to make reasonable accommodations as long as this does not cause undue hardship for them. Assuming the changes that would help you to work around the limitations of your OSTD or DID are not unreasonably difficult for your employer or expensive, you're entitled to those changes. Ultimately, the employer gets to decide what those accommodations are. But if you decide you would benefit from having some, it's a good idea to have some suggestions ready. The ADA National Network website suggests asking yourself the following questions. How does my disability impact the main tasks of my job? What do I most need as far as support, equipment, or changes in order to do these main tasks? The ADA National Network offers examples of accommodations. For managing treatments and medications, potential accommodations could be a flexible schedule to allow for appointments, more frequent breaks for medication, allowing for the use of a water bottle during work hours, or a part-time schedule until the medication plan stabilizes. So what might accommodations for OSTD or DID look like, given the wide array of triggers and behaviors that tend to accompany OSTD and DID? I'm going to just pose a couple of possibilities, with again reminding you that I'm not an attorney, so my suggestions could need some legal tweaking. One is a quiet place to recover from a flashback or panic attack, where you can do deep breathing, grounding exercises, visualization, jumping jacks, or whatever coping skills you utilize. Perhaps you change to a job that doesn't require you to interact with customers face-to-face, if men trigger panic attacks or flashbacks, for example. You might do work stocking shelves or some other work that limits your interactions with others. Another example might be having a written or pictorial instructions, checklists, or flowcharts to help you if uncontrolled switching is a problem and an alter who doesn't know the job is stuck fronting for a bit. There's one very important thing to know about requesting accommodations at work. You will need to be prepared to share at least some information about your disability. Look at this video's description for a link to a resource of accommodations by disability and by particular need, such as memory issues, to help you with ideas for what might help you and is considered reasonable. Next week, I'm going to talk about whether or not to tell your employer.